Hi there folks, welcome to Dunsy's Guitar World. Beautiful sunny day in Edinburgh today. There's no one in at the moment, so I'm going to take this opportunity to make a video that I normally make every January. I go through the guitars that I currently own, which to be honest is mostly so I can do an inventory to see what I actually own. I have guitars in cases, I have guitars in a cupboard there. In fact, what I'll do is I'll show you around my music room. It maybe looks glamorous on YouTube, but I can assure you it is anything but glamorous. So that's the door when you come into the room. This is CD collection. I've got more. It's a rack of guitars. Serious extension cable there. My old hi-fi system. Is it still called hi-fi system? I don't know. That's the Pod XT Pro that I used to use all the time. Selection of posters there. Some of my favourite albums. Your Ford, Motley Crue, Ace Frehley, Skinner, Van Halen, Sabbath, Aerosmith, Guns, AC/DC, Wasted. There's my lap steel up there, big Aerosmith poster. That's from Wembley. I saw Aerosmith 8 times on that tour in 1989, I think it was. Load of junk. Desk. Got 2 desks, 2 laptops. That's my radio. When I do my radio shows, I record it through that. Nothing professional. Now a laptop, 2 books on the new wave of British heavy metal. More posters. Kiss, Joe Walsh, Stevie Nicks, Aerosmith, Blue Oyster Cult, Aerosmith, Frampton Comes Alive, Zeppelin, Foghat, Tommy Bolin and Point Blank. That must have been some gig. Lita Ford, Motley Crue, and a Joyriders poster from our Japanese tour. That was a long time ago now. Now that's just two mobile cupboard unit type things covered by Cheap Trick type flags. Guitar, more guitar. So that's my other camera. When I'm filming lessons and covers, I keep a camera attached to this guitar rack. Guitars. It's my back garden. It's very sunny. All my neighbours are over there in tenements looking down going, oh, he's in his back garden again. And look, he's got a bloody palm tree. My wife wanted a palm tree for her birthday. Cases. Some full. In fact, I think they're all full. I'm not even sure what's in some of these. There's one of my cats. Don't know if you catch him. Ah, he's just missed them. So that's cases. This is the latest edition. We'll go through this in a bit. If you can see that with the sun. As you can see, this used to be a bedroom, so these are mirrored cupboards. I have no idea what was going on in here with these. Now on top of there's a couple of guitars up there. That's boxes of CD bootlegs. I downloaded about 1,200 bootleg concerts from Dime a Dozen and burned them all to CD, and they're all up there in boxes in no particular order. And in here, I can't open it just now because the guitars. In fact, I'll move this out of the way. Trying not to break the neck off this Gibson Les Paul Jr. And in here, there's more guitars. Joyriders backstage passes from Sporting the New York Dolls. Don't know when that one was. Classic grand. Lita Ford, well, Lita Ford sticker. Junk. Now in here, there's about 400 Kerangs and junk. Bootleg tapes. Remember bootleg tapes? I used to record all the gigs I went to and then trade them on the internet with people. That's full of tapes as well. It's just a room full of junk, basically. And then a spare seat in case anybody comes round, but nobody's allowed round. And one of these things, I'm sure every guy, every girl has one of these in the room, just a pile of stuff that you're trying to keep out of the way. That's my stupid hat, which my wife says I look ridiculous in. My collection of baseball caps. Got about 20 baseball caps, mostly from the US. More CDs. More CDs. More CDs. And I think that's a bag of my wife's stuff. What she needs to get out of my room, I need more space. So that was a quick look around my recording domain. But on with the job in hand. Now these are not in any particular order, they were just the order in which I found them. So this first one is I think this is a 1993 or 94 Orville Japanese made for Gibson. Not an Orville by Gibson, which is more expensive. This is an LPS 75 LD for lemon drop, solid top. It's a nice guitar, quite weighty. I've changed the bridge pickup out to a Tone Rider Alnico Classic, an AC2 I think it is. Nice guitar though. Now I don't know if any of these guitars will be in tune because I've just picked them up off racks and taken them out of cases. Not in tune. So that's the first one, an Orville LPS 75 LD, made in Japan. Second up is this fine paisley pattern Telecaster. My good friend in America loves this guitar, he speaks very highly of it. It's fair to say it's eye-catching. Would you describe this pink paisley as eye-catching? It's a nice guitar, made in Japan, Tokai, breezy sound. Oh, focus on that. Focus. Tokai breezy sound. There's no date anywhere on this. It's got made in Japan on here. But there's a neck. There's something written in the neck. It looks like it's 2011, I think it is. So maybe 2011. I mean, at that point in time, I believe Tokai was making Fender guitars. They were doing the Fender Japanese line and they were making these for Fender. So it looks to me like this is just the same as a Fender 69 reissue pink paisley pattern Telecaster that's played by James Burton. Now I cannot do any James Burton type, but this is a nice guitar. In tune as well, top 3 strings are in tune, always a bonus. So that's guitar number 2, 2011 paisley pattern Telecaster. Guitar number 3. Again, a very understated guitar, this one. It's a Hamer Graphic Special, made in the US, hand inked. Serial number, I think it's 1981, I would suggest. Beautiful guitar this, it's got vintage DiMarzio PAFs in it. I think the neck one's been changed because these guitars all came with a zebra humbucker in the neck. Nice guitar this, beautiful. Very cheap trick. I think Rick Nielsen would play something like this. He wouldn't play something like that, he would play something like this guitar. I mean, that's a Hamer Graphic Special from 1981. Now I own quite a few Greco guitars made in Japan by Fujigen. This is a 1982 mint collection EG 5660, based on a 1956 Gibson Gold Top. It's a beautiful guitar. It's more sort of mustardy than gold. I mean, I've got a Gibson Gold Top there, I'll show you, which is more, I don't know if there's maybe not as much metal sort of flake in the finish, but a nice guitar nonetheless. Oh, it's almost in tune as well. That's the first chord of House of the Rising Sun. So that's an EG 5660 by Greco, made in Japan. The sun's really bright. I said in other videos, you know, I'm always complaining about how rubbish it is in Scotland weather-wise, and whenever I make a video it's sunny. It's cold outside, but it's beautiful and sunny. Moving on swiftly. Another Greco. This is a 1983 mint collection EG 59, I think it's a 5970, based on a 59, not a huge 59 style neck, but I mean reasonably big-ish, but certainly not a Gibson 50 style neck, not like the Super Real series. But the funny thing about this, somebody's had a Fender type tremolo system. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. So they've actually carved out the back. They put a bloody Fender, like a Stratocaster tremolo system on this at some point. And the previous owner, I bought this from Japan, previous owner has filled it in. But it's a nice guitar. I mean, it's pretty beat up. When I'm going to do gigs, pub gigs, and I need a Les Paul, this is probably the Les Paul that I take with me. Because it doesn't matter if I get it bashed. It's not going to make any difference bashing this one. So it's an EG 5970, I think, Greco, made in Japan. Now, as well as owning a few Grecos and a few Gibsons, this is a 1978. The Paul. Made of walnut. Completely made of walnut. Nice bit of wood, as they say. Apart from the fingerboard, which is made of ebony. There's quite low frets on this. It had quite low frets to begin with, but this guitar has been played. Don't know if you can see. That's natural relican. So that's a 1978 Gibson, the Paul. This guitar is even older than me. It's made in 1963. Gibson double cut melody maker. I mean, it's so light, it's just a slab of mahogany. It's very thin as well. It's been refretted. I bought this from a shop in Germany. I mean, it's had everything replaced apart from the wood and I think the pickguard's original, but as you can see, they've just screwed a humbucker on there. And there's a wire, an earth grounding wire comes from, if you can see that, but it just comes out there and they've just stuck it under that post. Tuners have been replaced to Gotos, I think. No, there's been, don't know what they are. Not sure what those tuners are, button tuners, but it's a 1962 or 63 serial number, but I think it's a 63. This is a very resonant guitar. Tuned down a bit as well. My imperfect pitch tells me this is about Motorhead tune, because I was playing a Motorhead song on it the other day. So it's a 1963 Gibson Melody Maker. What it probably says, no breaks or repairs. It's clearly had a lot of work though, but it is a nice bit of mahogany. Now for the first Harley Benton. This is an DC 600 VI Vintage Ivory. I thought it was VI for 6 Roman numerals, but it's a VI for Vintage Ivory. 3 pickup. Nice guitar. There's plenty of sounds as well. You can blend in the middle pickup. So I've used this in quite a few lessons as well. I think this was 140 pounds or something. It's a lot of guitar for 140 pounds. There's your Harley Benton DC 600 VI. And this is the only bass I own. It's missing a pickup, and somebody sprayed it pink at some point in the past. I mean, I'm glad it's not pink. If it had been pink and it had been 1986, I would have played this, but it's 2021 and I'm an old man, I wouldn't be playing a pink bass. So it's Greco is the model number. Is it a TVB 55 or something? But it's a sort of medium scale bass. I'm not a bass player. Probably get copyright off YouTube if I'm playing that. So that's the only bass I own. So any bass you hear is recorded with that. Next up, another Harley Benton. This is my Harley Benton copper top. It says it's a gold top, but it looks copper to me. I've put Seymour Duncan pickups in this. Switch is a bit wonky, I need to change that. But this is it's another nice guitar. I think this was £120 or something. Nice neck shape on this, quite a big neck shape. I can't remember the model number. Is it a 400? It's SC 400, I can't really remember. You need to look on the Harley Benton website. But it's the cheapest model of the gold top to do, but nice guitar. Next up, a Squier Avril Lavigne Telecaster. Avril signature somewhere at the end there. And it's got the fretboard inlay there. I mean, there's no fretboard inlays. You can see from the back, I've got the remains of some electrical tape. This is a guitar, if I'm travelling abroad, this is the guitar I take with me. I take it in pieces. I put this body in my carry-on case and take a neck off and just carry the neck onto the plane, wrap it in bubble wrap. And I mean, I get some funny looks from people, but because there's no position markers on the neck, I mean, there's some on the side there, my eyesight isn't too good, and if I'm not wearing glasses on stage, what I do is I put electrical tape where all the position markers are, so when I'm looking down I can go, oh no. I mean, it's all about knowing the position you're playing in. I mean, I might not be playing the right thing, but I will be playing it in the correct position. So that's I think this is a 2007, they did 2 series of Avril Lavigne Squiers, It's funny, it's just got one pickup but 3 positions. When it's back, it's that coil. When it's in the middle, it's both coils. When it's there, it's the front coil. So it's quite a good sounding guitar, plenty of different sounds. It goes from 2 different single coil sounds to a humbucker sound, all for the price of one pickup. I bought this is a long story but I'll make it short. When I bought this on eBay, the person who sold me it says, I'm in Scotland, I could just meet you rather than posting it. And I says, oh cool. And I arranged to meet them at a petrol station halfway between Edinburgh and Glasgow. So I drove out there and I got a message. I said, how will I recognise you? And the person who was selling it said, I look like Avril Lavigne. And I thought, yeah, very good. I thought it was just going to be, you know, some guy turned up. And I swear to God, I turned up at the petrol station and a BMW 7 Series, an expensive BMW 7 Series turned up. And this lady got out and I swear to God, she was Avril Lavigne's double. And I think her boyfriend had bought her the guitar. She'd never played it, but she decided to sell it. And I was just like standing there, I mean, I must have been like this. As I bought a guitar off Avril Lavigne and she had a Scottish accent. That's the sort of crazy stuff that happens. People think I make this up, but that's 100% true. Moving on swiftly. I don't own a lot of Stratocasters, but this is a great one. It's got quite a chunky neck for a Strat. This is a January 1979 Greco. I think it's an SE 800 Jai for Jeff Beck. And these came, they didn't have a selector switch, they had 3 sort of mini switches. You could have the pickups on or in phase or out of phase. And when I got it, it was trashed. I mean, the electrics were completely knackered. So I just changed the whole pickguard out. And I've got a Fender noiseless there, and these are 2 Wilkinson ones. Sounds great. Like I say, I'm not a Strat guy, but when I did all those Tommy Bowen and James Gang covers, I used this and it sounds great. It's a bit knackered at the moment. The front pickup, this isn't working properly, so whenever you get past position 3, there's no sound, so I need to fix that. Next up, heavy metal time. Flying V. Doesn't get more metal than a V, folks. This is a Aria Pro 2 1980 FV 550. It's got Greco tuners on it. I mean, I bought it from Japan. It was advertised as a Greco. It didn't have any truss sword cover, so you can't really tell. But when I looked at all the other 1980 Flying V's made in Japan, this one, the position of the bridge and all the screws on the pickguard matches exactly an Aria FV 550. So I'm going on the premise that this is an Aria Pro 2 FV 550 Flying V made in Japan. From 1980, from Real Judas Priest times. YouTube don't recognise that either. Now, moving on. This is my latest edition. This is a Gibson Les Paul Junior 2019 model. So I got it used for a really good price. My friend Marco has one and I watched his video and I thought, I need to get one of these. So it was a good price, so I bought this. Z flat minor, is that? That's the first chord of a Beatles song. More copyright issues. It's got a big neck, big 50s type neck, if you can see that. Gibson Les Paul. Gibson Les Paul Junior. I'm all into P90s at the moment. P90s and a big neck, so big neck. And this just fits my needs exactly. So I'm going to have to open some cases, so I'll be back in a bit. Now, believe it or not, I have a couple of guitars which I've been given for free by a couple of my friends who didn't play them anymore, and I mean, very, very kindly gave me a couple of guitars. So this is the first one. This is from my friend Graham. It's a big Gretsch, Electromatic. I don't know the model, but it's a big hollow body type thing. Oh. It's not in tune, obviously, but beautiful sounding big guitar. I use this on a lot of studio recordings if you just need that clean sort of. Again, it's not in tune, but yeah, beautiful guitar. So it's a Greco. I'm not sure what model it was. Made in Korea. Beautiful guitar though. Thank you very much, Graham. I do appreciate it, my friend. Now, I'm a big fan of melody makers. I loved Joan Jett's Melody Maker. And the Joan Jett ones are very expensive, so I got this one instead. This is a Gibson Michael Clifford signature Melody Maker. One pickup with a coil tap on it. Nice wee guitar, this. I'll get called for copyright. So I think this is a 2019. They only made a very few numbers of these, and I got this from Tokai. I got it from Germany for, I mean, it was about 25% off. 25% off the new price. I don't know why. I don't know. People maybe didn't buy these, didn't know who Michael Clifford is. To be perfectly honest, I had no idea who Michael Clifford was either, but he has a fine choice in guitars. So that's a 2019 Gibson Michael Clifford Melody Maker. Now, if you were to ask me what my favourite guitar is, my current favourite guitar, and it has been since I got it actually, this is another Melody Maker, a 1965 Gibson Melody Maker. This is so resonant, such a beautiful guitar. It's been completely changed. These are 1970 Gibson T-tops. It's had a switch added. I mean, it's beat up. This is, you would call this road worn. But this is so resonant, such a beautiful guitar. Now the problem with some, maybe not a problem for some, the Gibson nut width changed in the mid-60s, I think, and it went really slim, so some of the Melody Makers have got tiny slim necks, but this is one of the thicker ones. I think this is 41 or 42 mil. So I mean, this is just beautiful to play. Such a great feeling neck. So yes, if I had to choose my favourite guitar, it would be this one. Beautiful. It's a 1965 Gibson Melody Maker. So I told you I loved Melody Makers, so this is a P90 Melody Maker made in 2006, is it? 2006. It's like a limited run of Melody Makers they did with a P90, but with a Tune-o-matic and a buff stop bar as well. So I mean, these are like Les Paul Juniors. I mean, they're probably thinner than a Les Paul Junior, and I put this pick guard on it. So it's like a cheap version of a Gibson Les Paul Junior. Now a nice guitar again, just a slab of mahogany. Nothing complicated about this bad boy, but nice big neck as well. It's like a 50s neck. Beautiful playing guitar. So I got this really cheap, and I thought, I love Melody Makers. This was a good price for a P90. So a 2006 Gibson P90 Melody Maker. Nice guitar. If you see any of these for sale, I would definitely suggest trying it or just buying it outright. Beautiful guitar. Good value for money as well if you're into Gibson guitars. Next up, another Gibson Les Paul Junior. Big neck on this, seriously. Big chunky 50s neck. It's a custom shop 57 reissue. Nice guitar, very resonant as well. I love the neck on this, it's good. I mean, these are a lot of money. To buy one of these new is a lot of money. I got this second hand at a very good price, so would I pay, I mean, I think these are £3,500 new. It's a lot of money for a guitar. If you can get one used, I would definitely recommend getting a used one. It was worth what I paid for it, put it that way. It's a nice guitar, glad I got it. A blue stained. Nice wood that. Nice wood, as they say. Blue stain, and I've changed the pickup covers to white P90 covers. It's a Gibson Les Paul. Are these called Special Tributes or Tribute Special? It's a 2019 as well. It's a really nice little guitar. I think this was the lowest priced Gibson in 2019. But it's nice, it sounds good with these P90s. Just a top wraparound tailpiece. But I like this, used this on quite a lot of videos. This is a guitar I've taken to rehearsal as well. I'm taking a P90 guitar. See me looking over the guitar now. So that's a 2019 Gibson Junior Special Tribute Junior, something like that. Nice guitar though, I like it. Just a break in the action here. That grey cat is my cat. That big white cat is not my cat. And that little cat is my cat. Look, she's looking. That's Sugar. And that's Sebastian. I don't know what the big one's called, but we call him Snowy. They seem quite chilled out. I mean, cats normally aren't too friendly, but look. It's like a cat party in the sun in Scotland. Anyway, back to the action. That was funny that. It's like watching wildlife live in Edinburgh. You don't see cats hanging about like dogs hanging about and, you know, sniff each other's bums. And they're all quite friendly, but cats can be quite, you know, the claws are out and the hissing, but these folks seem like they're having a nice day. On with the guitars. This is a 2017. There's only 150 of these made. It's a Gibson Pete Townshend 76 Deluxe or 77 Deluxe. Based on one of Pete's guitars. This is a nice guitar. Previous owner has changed the mini humbucker out to a P90, which I really like. I love the sound of this guitar. It's got a nice neck on it as well. I tried one of these when they were new, when they came out, but they were like $2,500 or something like that, and I thought that was a bit expensive. And this came up for sale 2 or 3 weeks back, and I sold 5 guitars to buy this one, which is a reason for me doing this video, so I know what guitars I actually still have. So yes, I like this. Pete. I mean, there's so many sounds with the super distortion in the middle, and this is for the phase of the super distortion, and you mix it in with this volume. A plethora of sounds available with this Gibson guitar. Back to the wildlife. Look, the cats are all rolling over and getting all friendly. Aww. I'm glad I caught that. I mean, there's people who tune into my channel who probably like cats. And who doesn't like cats? Look at these two, that's too cute. Oh, is it? Oh, look! Don't do that, Snowy. Oh, this could end in tears. Right, if there's any update, I'll let you see it. Back to the guitars now. If somebody said, what's the best guitar you own? I mean, I think it would be this. I mean, it's not my favourite. I think my favourite to play is the 65 Melody Maker, but the best made guitar, best sounding guitar, I think, is this Greco EGF 850 1981. I mean, I've had a shot at a couple of Gibson R9s, custom shop R9 reissues. Nice guitars. I would say, I mean, I'm not here to tell you this is better than this and the next thing, but from my point of view, this played as good as those Gibson R9s. And these are expensive now. These were only made for a couple of years in the early 80s in Japan. And they're beautiful guitars, I would say. So if I had to say what's my best guitar, this EGF 850 from Greco is my best guitar. There you have it, the question everybody was asking. A 1979 Gibson Les Paul standard, like the 70s Les Pauls, is a multi-piece top, wine red though, beautiful colour. I think this is all original as well. T-top pickups, very flat frets. You see, I said that in my perfect Scottish, flat frets. Gibson Les Paul standard. Quite slim necks on these 70s standards. I mean, I prefer a bigger feeling neck, but this is nice. It's funny with the big paddle headstock as well. But this is a nice guitar. I love the 70s, I love 70s rock, I love 70s guitars. The strings on this are filthy, so I need to change the strings on this. So it's a 3-piece maple neck. This has been through the wars as well. I mean, there's a lot of chunks out of this one. 1979 Gibson Les Paul standard. This is a 1972. Look at the wood on that. I'm not going to say a nice bit of wood again. It's ridiculous. Mahogany. Slim neck on this as well. 70s slim necks, big paddle headboard. That's I'm thinking of beds here. Big paddle headstock. The Crown Inlay 19. It's difficult to tell the serial numbers, but the pots are dated to the 50th week of 1971, so I guess this is most likely to be a 1972 guitar with the Gibson branded Bigsby. Doesn't stay in tune particularly well, I have to say. I've tightened it up so it hardly moves. It's like that Echo in the Bunnymen song, Killing Moon, is it? Although not quite in tune. So that's a 1972 Gibson SG Deluxe. Strange because there's no routing on the back. It's just all done on the front. Quick way of saving money for the Northern era Gibson folks. This is another 1979 standard. Tells you in the headstock, does what it says in the headstock, standard. But it's a Greco. It's an EG 700. Quite heavy beast this. Solid top. Pickups are U2000 pickups. Nice sounding PF type pickups. Nice guitar. Probably needs refretted. The frets are quite low. Oh. Try an chord. Yeah, that's in my favourite alternate tuning, Z flat minor. So that's your 1979 Greco EG 700. Now I do have another two guitars, but they're on top of the wardrobe I showed you earlier on. I don't have step ladders at the moment. They are a 1986 Fender Japan Contemporary Stratocaster, which I got for 120 quid, 1994 or something. And the other one is an Aria guitar that I got for free from my good friend Craig, who stays in Stavanger. He gave me a 1986 Squier Japan Telecaster, which I played so much I will have to get refretted over the fresh down. I love that guitar, but they're on top of the wardrobe, and you've probably seen them before. And it's funny talking about those last two guitars, the Fender Japan and the Squier Japan Telecaster and Strats. At one point in time, they were the only two guitars I owned. I owned a lot of Gibsons in the late 80s, early 90s, and I sold all the guitars I had, apart from that Japanese Stratocaster, and then my friend Craig gave me the Telecaster. I sold everything I had. I left my job and I went to college, and I did, believe it or not, I did violin restoration. I studied violin restoration for 3 years. And no, I do not restore violins as a profession these days. Suffice to say, there is not a lot of jobs in the violin restoration business. So my point is, I did have a lot of guitars, and then I sold them all, apart from two. One which cost me 120 quid, and one which I got for nothing. And then over the last 20 years, I've just bought lots of stuff back. I mean, I don't really buy new guitars. New Gibsons are so expensive, new Fenders, new PRS. I mean, there's a lot of money to spend on the guitar. So I would say 95% of the guitars that I own, I have purchased second hand, and I always wait till they're a good price, you know. I don't just dive in and buy something because I want to. I watch stuff all the time on Japanese websites, on Zen Market, eBay, places like that. Just keep an eye out for stuff that comes along that I think I quite like that, and it's a doable price. I mean, so the moral of the story is, at one point I had a lot of guitars, and then I didn't have a lot of guitars, and now I do have a lot of guitars, and if I end up with just my Japanese Telecaster and my Japanese Squier, hey ho, I probably only need two guitars. I mean, do I need all these guitars? I don't need all these guitars. They're nice to have. If you're a golfer, you don't just own two golf clubs. You know what I'm saying? So thank you very much for tuning in to Dunsy's Guitar and Animal Watch World, broadcasting live here from Edinburgh. Cheers now.